This chapter talks about the input window, but it shares concepts of the output windows as well. The next four options correspond to each of the inputs of the DSP. Remember that in the main window we have assigned a signal to each input. By default, analog input 1 is assigned to in1, analog input 2 to in2, and so on. In the window we will find the 10 parametric filters that can be used for each input. There are 8 types of filters available, as you can see in the list. The filters that are activated have a blue button on its side. They can be deactivated clicking on the button. It will turn into gray. You can choose if you prefer to see the width of the filter as Q or bandwidth. In the very bottom of the window you will find the high-pass filter and the low-pass filter. These ones correspond to the ones also shown in the crossover window that you have seen in the previous chapter. You have different types of filters and slopes, as you can see in the list. To disable these filters you can either click its blue button or type 0 in the frequency field. You can also adjust delay. In the upper right side of the window you will find the gain, emitter, the mute button and the polarity button. Activate the polarity button to reverse the signal. Below you will find the limiter section with the main parameters: threshold, attack and release. Let's see the graph in depth. Of course you can make adjustments directly clicking on the filters, but you can find some more adjustments. With these arrows you will be able to zoom in and zoom out the vertical axis of the graph. With the arrows next to the 0, you can give an offset to the graph to move it up or down. Of course this only affects to visualization, not to the level of the signal. The first button on the left side of the graph allows you to display the graph on full screen mode. This is an example of how it would be displayed. The second button is for making a screenshot of the graph and save it into your computer as PNG file. The third button is for fine-tuning. Whenever this button is active, the movements of the filters on the graph when they are changed are in very small steps to make accurate adjustments. The last button displays the values of the filters in the graph. In this way it's easier to identify them. In the Inputs window we have also another tool, which is the 4-band compressor. When you click on the green button a new window will be opened. Here we have the 4 bands displayed in columns and the different parameters we can adjust for each of them. See that we can choose several types of filters: band cut, high cut, low cut, or the whole signal, which is full range. On the right side you will find the output meter and the total gain reduction we are applying to the signal. Note that the displayed gain reduction is also including the limiter we have adjusted in the previous window, not only the 4-band compressor shown here. Click here to get back to the main window. Remember, here you have the 4-band compressor tool.